Hello everyone, and welcome to the Poet's Point. I'm Matt Harris, and since October is Blindness Awareness Month, I wanted to join in the celebration by reciting a poem I wrote called Linguistic Dissonance. But first, I want to tell you a little bit about its origins. Back in the summer of 2020, I had just recently turned 60 and graduated from the University of Baltimore with a degree in English. At that time, I also could no longer read the printed word. That's because Usher syndrome, an incurable genetic disease that causes both blindness and deafness, had further deteriorated my vision. I knew then that the time had finally come for me to confront those braille dots. And it was then that I realized just how attached my eyes had become to the printed word. This caused me a great deal of internal conflict as I grieved this loss while learning Braille. It was then that I started writing my poem, Linguistic Dissonance, but I was unable to finish it until just recently. I feared if I couldn't learn Braille that I would become an illiterate English major. I felt like a preschooler when I first started, but now, although very slowly, I'm actually reading in Braille a book I wrote called Seeing Through Blindness. I want to thank the fine Braille instructors at Hadley Institute for making this possible. And thank you, Jesus, for giving me the strength to endure. Your grace is indeed sufficient. And now, here's Linguistic Dissonance. Long after those ancient nuns back in the 60s strung, all 26 of you, like the beads on their rosaries, through each pupil of my eager green eyes, and plugged you into that synoptic fuse box behind them. Long after that alphabetic train began to chug on its tracks inside a banner above the blackboard that stretched clear across the continent of our classroom, 35 feet from east to west. Each train's freight, an object, and matching letter, A for apple, B for ball, C for cat, D for doll. Long after we first embarked on our travels, and in harmony for decades together, my bookshelves filling with pages of you, each volume like a postcard from places we visited, like from those offices of Doctors Dolittle and Seuss, then from Patmos, Paradise Lost, Carver's Cathedral. Long after eyesight stamped my narrative passport for literary travel to such destinations as these, it now felt as if these braille dots wished to revoke it, protruding from their thick pages like chicken pox, a linguistic dissonance at first too hesitant to touch. So there I lingered, as if in an eternal caesura, until I surrendered, that is, without giving up, and dammed up that printed tributary, then like a canal, rerouted it away from my eyes to another synoptic channel that sprung from some foreign stream welling inside my consciousness, from where it now flows through my arm to the fingertip that now presses against the braille dots that now replace my dear old travel partner, Blindness Erased.